Imagine you've just deployed the absolute smartest, most advanced AI agent in the world to handle your company's supply chain.
Right. A real top-tier system.
Exactly. I mean, this thing is brilliant. It's predicting weather patterns. It's rerouting cargo ships in real time. And, it's saving your business millions of dollars.
Sounds perfect so far.
It does. But then a massive shipping delay happens. So this genius supply chain agent realizes it needs to notify the AI agent managing your accounting department just so it can update the quarterly financial forecasts.
And let me guess, nothing happens.
Nothing happens. It just hits a wall. Your genius supply chain agent is, well, completely incapable of speaking to your accounting agent.
Yeah, I mean, it is essentially a brilliant mind just trapped in a soundproof room.
Exactly.
And, that right there is the exact frustration playing out in enterprise boardrooms all over the world right now. You have these pockets of extreme intelligence that they just cannot work together.
And that is exactly what we are unpacking for you today. So welcome to today's deep dive.
Glad to be here.
We are looking at the official version 1.0 release documents from the Linux Foundation, alongside a very sobering reality check report from IT Pro. We want to understand how the enterprise tech world is finally breaking down those soundproof walls.
Yeah, it's a massive shift.
It really is. We are moving away from the era of isolated single-agent setups, and we're stepping into an era of massive coordinated networks.
Right.
Specifically, we're exploring why agent interoperability, meaning the ability of entirely different computing systems to seamlessly connect and work together, is becoming the absolute bedrock of enterprise infrastructure.
It is a profound shift, really, in how software fundamentally operates.
Yeah.
But to understand why this matters so much to you right now, we kind of have to look at the history of how we got here.
Where did it start?
Well, Google originally introduced this framework, the Agent-to-Agent Protocol, or A2A, back on April 9, 2025.
Okay.
And the original goal was simply to let autonomous agents communicate securely, exchange information, coordinate action.
Right, just basic communication.
Exactly. But as of today, July 2, 2026, the landscape has completely escalated. Google has officially donated the entire protocol to the Linux Foundation, and it has just hit version 1.0.
Wow, okay. I want to pause on that donation aspect for a second, because handing this over to the Linux Foundation is a huge move.
It's massive.
It means A2A is now an open standard, meaning it's a publicly available set of rules that any developer in the world can build on without paying a toll or asking for permission.
Precisely.
To put this in perspective for you, just think about the early days of the internet. You had all these different computers and networks, but they were, totally isolated.
Right, they couldn't talk to each other.
Exactly. Not until we got HTTP, which became the universal rule book for the web. In that exact same way, if our AI agents are going to collaborate, they desperately need a common language, a shared vocabulary and syntax, so they don't misinterpret each other's data.
Yeah, that analogy to HTTP is it's highly accurate. In fact, if you read through the official A2A materials released alongside version 1.0, a common language is exactly how the architects describe it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The fundamental goal is to ensure that an agent built by Google can seamlessly collaborate with, say, an agent built by Microsoft.
Even on different systems.
Yeah, exactly. Even if they are running on completely different underlying architectures.
Okay, so if A2A is this universal translator, where does that leave the tools our agents are already using right now?
That's the big question.
Because we really have to talk about how this interacts with the broader AI ecosystem. I mean, unpacking the official v1.0 announcement, the Linux Foundation is calling this the first stable, production-ready release.
Right.
Which means it's mature, stable, and secure enough to handle real high-stakes business operations, not just, flashy tech demos.
Yeah, the demo phase is over.
But this immediately brings up Anthropic's MCP, right? The Model Context Protocol, which a lot of people are already using.
Yes, and this is a distinction where we see a lot of confusion in the market.
Yeah.
It's a crucial fact to get right.
Okay, clear it up for us.
A2A does not replace MCP.
It doesn't.
No, not at all. They are entirely complementary protocols, meaning they work together by doing two very different jobs.
Okay.
MCP is designed strictly for agent-to-tool communication. A2A, on the other hand, is designed strictly for agent-to-agent communication.
Okay, wait, hang on. Let me push back on that a bit.
Sure.
If MCP allows my agent to open up a database or read a corporate spreadsheet or, I don't know, ping an inventory tracker, why does it actually need to talk to other agents?
That's a fair question.
Like, if my supply chain agent is so smart, why can't it just use MCP to reach into the accounting database and update the forecast itself? Give me a real scenario where an agent calling another agent is actually better than just using a tool.
Well, it comes down to complexity and security in a heterogeneous environment, which refers to a real-world business setup that uses a diverse, complicated mix of different software vendors and platforms.
Okay, so a mix of different brands.
Exactly. In a massive global enterprise, you don't use just one system for everything. You might use Salesforce to manage all your sales pipelines and, say, SAP to manage your highly sensitive financial treasury.
Right, that makes sense.
So if you let your sales agent use a tool to dig directly into the SAP treasury database, you are creating a massive security nightmare.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you're basically letting a frontline agent bypass all the specialized financial logic that the finance team spent years building.
Ah, okay. So the sales agent might understand sales data, but it doesn't have the context or the authorization to safely manipulate raw treasury data.
Precisely. Instead of using a tool to forcibly alter the database, sales agent needs to respectfully ask the dedicated finance agent to handle it.
So the finance agent acts as a guard.
Exactly. But here's the technical catch in that heterogeneous environment. What if the Salesforce agent was just updated yesterday and the SAP agent is running on a legacy version from like 6 months ago?
Oh, yeah.
How do they talk if their software versions don't match?
Well, let me guess. If this was a traditional software setup, an API integration would just break,
Instantly.
and an engineer would have to spend 2 weeks rewriting the code to fix the connection.
Exactly. Traditional APIs are incredibly rigid, but A2A v1.0 solves this by introducing version negotiation.
Okay, how does that work?
It's an automated, dynamic mechanism where the two agents essentially perform a handshake before they share any data.
Like they're introducing themselves.
Right. The newer agent says, I can speak versions 1.9 and 0.8. What can you understand?
Okay.
And the older agent replies, I only know 0.8. So they instantly lock in to version 0.8, temporarily stripping away the newer features so they can communicate perfectly without crashing each other's systems.
Wow, that is brilliant. It completely removes the human bottleneck of fixing broken integrations.
It really does.
And what's fascinating from the technical specs is that A2A aligns perfectly with existing web architectures.
Yes, very intentionally.
It supports JSON over HTTP, gRPC, and JSON RPC. For the non-engineers listening, that basically means A2A isn't forcing developers to learn some alien sci-fi communication method.
Right.
It is using the exact same pipes and formats the internet already runs on today.
Yeah, that was a very deliberate design choice. The barrier to entry had to be as low as possible.
That makes total sense.
I like to think of it this way. MCP gives your agent hands to hold a calculator or a wrench. A2A uses standard web protocols to give your agent a voice to call its colleagues on the phone.
I love that. So understanding how these agents pick up the phone leads us directly into a massive shift in how corporate IT departments are going to buy software over the next decade.
Absolutely.
Let's look at the technical steering committee for A2A under the Linux Foundation. It is a staggering list of heavyweights.
It really is a who's who.
We're talking about AWS, Cisco, Google, IBM Research, Microsoft, Salesforce, SAP, and ServiceNow.
Yeah, and when you see a list of fierce direct competitors all sitting at the same table, happily collaborating on a single protocol, you really have to ask why.
Right, why are they doing this?
And the answer is that the communication layer is rapidly becoming the most strategic foundational layer in all of enterprise AI.
But why are they all agreeing to play nice? I mean, Microsoft and Google are locked in a brutal AI arms race right now.
Oh, absolutely.
So why would they voluntarily make it easier for a Microsoft agent to talk to a Google agent?
Because the customers, the massive Fortune 500 enterprise buyers, are demanding it.
It's about the money.
Always. Think about the railway gauge problem in the 1800s. Different train companies laid down tracks that were different widths.
Okay.
So a train from one company literally could not travel on the tracks of another. When a train hit a state line, all the cargo had to be manually unloaded and reloaded onto a different train.
Which sounds like a nightmare.
It paralyzed commerce. And without A2A, the tech giants were basically building different sized tracks for their AI agents.
Right.
Open standards are commercially vital right now because they prevent vendor lock-in. That is the dangerous trap where switching away from one supplier becomes incredibly difficult or even financially ruinous because your systems are entirely dependent on their proprietary tech.
Right, because If one vendor managed to own the proprietary communication layer for all AI agents, you'd be trapped in their ecosystem forever.
Exactly.
But by making A2A a universally accepted standard, companies are finally free to build, best of breed architectures.
Precisely. You can buy the absolute best sales agent from Salesforce, the absolute best HR agent from ServiceNow, and the best cloud infrastructure from AWS, and know with absolute certainty that they will seamlessly interoperate.
I want to focus on where the real friction happens in business here, because having a genius brain like the underlying large language model really doesn't matter at all if the nerves of the company are cut off.
Well,
Historically, the place where those communication nerves get severed is at an organizational boundary, meaning the literal line dividing different internal departments or even entirely different companies that operate under different management and security rules.
exactly.
Passing a complex task across an organizational boundary is where human workflows almost always break down.
And that is exactly what A2A is designed to bridge.
Hmm.
If we zoom out and connect this to the bigger macroeconomic picture, it completely changes the competitive landscape for tech vendors.
How so?
Well, the next great AI competition is no longer just about who has the single smartest standalone agent.
Right, because everyone is getting smarter.
Exactly. We are quickly hitting a baseline of raw intelligence there. The real trillion-dollar competition now is about who can orchestrate the broadest, most reliable, trusted network, meaning a massive web of highly specialized agents that actually rely on each other to execute complex workflows securely.
Okay, but building a massive trusted network sounds incredible in a white paper.
Sure does.
But let's bring this down to earth for a minute and talk about reality.
Let's do it.
What does it actually take to trust a piece of software with your company's most sensitive, mission-critical data? Because right now, handing over the keys to the kingdom to a bunch of bots autonomously talking to each other sounds, frankly, absolutely terrifying to most people.
It is terrifying, and rightfully so. That fear is exactly why the official version 1.0 announcement focuses so heavily on enterprise-grade security features.
Like what?
We're looking at things like signed agent cards. We're looking at a much stronger security posture, meaning the overall strength, readiness, and resilience of a system's cyber defenses against attacks or errors.
Okay.
And crucially, the protocol mandates strict multi-tenancy.
Wait, let me stop you there and ask for a practical breakdown of how that actually works under the hood.
Sure.
When an agent hands off a delegated task, meaning a very specific job or process assigned from one entity to another, when a delegated task is handed over, who is actually accountable if the receiving agent hallucinates and makes $1 million mistake?
That is the golden question.
Right. How do signed agent cards actually prevent a rogue agent from causing a disaster?
Accountability is the exact hurdle that enterprise CIOs are losing sleep over. Let's start with signed agent cards.
Okay.
Think of them as cryptographic, unforgeable ID badges. When the supply chain agent asks the finance agent to update the forecast, it doesn't just send a text message.
What does it send?
It sends a digitally signed request. The finance agent inspects that cryptographic signature to definitively prove the identity of the sender, check what permissions that sender has, and verify that the message wasn't tampered with in transit.
Wow. Okay.
So if an AI agent executes a trade or approves a refund, the A2A protocol ensures there is an immutable, mathematically proven record of exactly which agent requested the action, which agent authorized it, and what version of the protocol they used.
So it creates an absolute perfect paper trail.
Exactly.
But what if the agent itself is compromised? Like, what if a hacker gets into the sales agent and tries to use it to attack the finance agent? That is where multi-tenancy comes in, right?
You nailed it. Multi-tenancy is the ability of one single overarching system to safely serve many different customers, or in this case, many different agents, at the exact same time without their data ever bleeding into each other's spaces.
Oh, like an apartment building.
Exactly like a high-security apartment building.
Okay.
Everyone shares the same underlying plumbing and electricity, the core server infrastructure. But your neighbor cannot unlock your front door.
Right.
If one agent goes completely rogue, strict multi-tenancy combined with a rigid security posture ensures that the blast radius is contained entirely within that one specific apartment. The rogue agent cannot infect the rest of the network.
That makes a lot of sense technically. But to provide a necessary reality check here, we need to look closely at that recent report from IT Pro.
Oh yes, the IT Pro report.
Because despite the fact that A2A v1.0 is officially a mature, tested framework, the report clearly states that most real-world enterprises are still in the very, very early stages of operationalizing these agents.
Yeah, the enthusiasm is incredibly high. But the actual deployment is slow. IT leaders are very bullish on the long-term potential of agent networks, but they keep falling at the final hurdle.
Right.
Agreeing on a standard like A2A is really only step one.
Because getting the agents to physically talk is just a solved technical problem now. The math works.
Exactly. But the actual orchestration, the corporate governance, and building a culture that trusts this infrastructure, those remain massive, wide-open problems for most organizations.
It's a trust issue.
Getting humans to trust the agents to talk is an ongoing cultural bottleneck. I mean, a strong demo of a smart language model answering questions on a stage, that's easy.
Yeah.
But deploying a fleet of agents that can autonomously negotiate contracts across an organizational boundary without human intervention? That takes an entirely new level of enterprise architecture and human trust.
That is such a crucial distinction for you to keep in mind. The technology might be fully capable today, but the corporate culture is lagging a few years behind. Okay, this has been an incredibly dense, fascinating journey. We have covered a massive amount of ground regarding the A2A v1.0 protocol and what it signals for the future of business.
We certainly have.
Let's distill this down to our 3 main takeaways for you to remember. You want to take the first one?
Absolutely. Number one, A2A and MCP do entirely different jobs, and they are designed to complement one another. MCP is the standard that connects your AI agents to tools, giving them hands. A2A is the standard that connects your AI agents to each other, giving them a voice.
Perfect. Number 2, the open standards movement, led by the Linux Foundation's A2A v1.0, is absolutely crucial for breaking down vendor lock-in. It is the key to enabling true, seamless collaboration across incredibly complex, heterogeneous environments, meaning you can safely mix software from Salesforce, SAP, Google, and Microsoft without breaking your systems.
And number 3, the future of enterprise AI relies entirely on building a massive trusted network of specialized agents. But as the IT Pro report rightly pointed out, while the technical protocol is finally here, organizations still have a very long way to go to solve the human governance, trust, and operational hurdles before these systems are really running the global economy.
Which leads me to a final thought I want to leave you with, something we haven't even touched on yet, but is inevitably coming the question of human legal liability.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Think about it. If A2A allows 2 autonomous agents from 2 entirely different competing companies to flawlessly communicate, negotiate, and execute a massive B2B supply chain contract in milliseconds, what happens if the terms they agree on accidentally violate antitrust laws?
That is a scary thought.
Right. If 2 AI agents autonomously collude to fix prices using the standard, who goes to jail? Is it the engineers, the executives, the protocol designers? The technology is moving much faster than our legal frameworks, and that is a reality every business leader is going to have to face.
It is a terrifying and fascinating legal frontier. I mean, we are basically watching the HTTP of the AI age being poured like concrete right in front of us.
We really are.
The foundational tracks are laid. Now we just have to see what kind of high-speed trains get built on top of them and whether they stay on the rails.
So we want to hear from you. Think about everything we just unpacked today. Which layer of the agent stack do you think will actually matter most over the next 3 years?
Good question.
Will the real value be in the raw intelligence of the AI models themselves? Will it be the physical tools and databases they have access to? Or will it be this new standardized communication layer that connects them all together?
I'd love to know what you all think.
Drop your thoughts in the comments. We love reading your perspectives. Thanks for joining us, and we will catch you on the next deep dive.